All right, so this is the analysis. This is what I think on gold. This is what I'm speculating. This is what I'm looking at. I've been looking at gold for a while now. The whole of last week, I think I took my profit on Monday. I took a trade on Friday, which is last 2 weeks Friday. I held through Monday and I took my profit. So the whole of last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I didn't take any positions on gold because I'm not interested in gold sales. I want to buy gold. Anything sales, I'm not really interested. But I've been looking at it. Doesn't mean I've not been looking at it. I've been looking at it closely. And this Friday there was NFP. There was a news, NFP news, and I noticed the news actually bought gold. The news has brought back its bullish momentum. So probably this week I'll be looking for opportunities for buys on gold. I don't know yet, but if it presents itself, I'm gonna be buying gold. But let's see what gold did the few weeks ago. So this was the move I caught. I caught this move, this clean move, and I'm sure a lot of people were still holding, thinking it was going to all-time high. But it tricked everyone. It never went there, and it took everyone out. Everyone who didn't take their profit, it took them out. So uh, normally this is a strong level here. It's a strong level. This right here is a very strong level. Let me use this zone. This is a very strong level on the high time frame, which is I think the daily and the 4 hour. Oops. Come on, hey. I can continue my record. I'm recording. Please don't make noise, okay? Please don't make noise. All right, so like I was saying, this is a key level, which is the 5,000s. It's a very key level that here from this direction, you notice it broke out of the 5,000. It broke out of the 5,000. It broke out of the 5,000 from this direction, went all the way to 5,600, then broke again, came and started trading below this 5,000. Now we traded below this 5,000 for I think how many days? For I think weeks. I think 3 weeks. We traded below this zone for 3 solid weeks. You can see there's a weekly candle. So 1, 2, 3 weeks. Now all of a sudden, a 1 week candle broke this zone to the upside. So I'm looking at this zone as a retest, this particular zone as a retest for continuation to the upside. Now that is looking at this as a retest is not enough information to buy gold yet because you need to have a lot of confluence that come together for you to take your decision. Now, even if you come on a daily time frame, you notice this is a key level and you see prices respecting it. Here, it tried to break it, but you can see clearly what is happening here. It tried to break it. You can see bulls trying to go back into the market. Bearish trying to pull down, but the bulls are again here. This was NFP news, this daily candle. This is the Friday candle. This is what happened on the NFP news. So this push is definitely an indication telling us that there's a lot of buyers here who are not allowing the sellers to push price down. You should have this at the back of your head, that there's a lot of buyers here because here it was a resistance at a point in time that broke to the upside. Now coming back, it turns into a support. And now you see the support, it is acting as a support. It is preventing price from coming further because there are buyers, a lot of buyers here trying to push price back to the 5,500s because this is the last level we were, which is 5,600. So definitely gold is trying to go back to its previous all-time high. It's going to take it's going to take time. But time will tell. But ours is to catch the move, to know when the move is going to start and you catch it. Now, this is a key level, and I've explained why it's a key level. Now, when you go on a 4-hour time frame, it becomes even clearer. It becomes clearer. You can see clearly that here it broke out, broke below which we traded below this level for some time, and finally broke above it. But when it broke above it, it retested, and we traded all above it. Now it's back again. It came to sweep all this liquidity. So I see this. See this that happened. I see it as liquidity. It came to sweep all these early buyers. That is what a chart does. It sweeps early sellers. It sweeps early buyers. On BTC, the BTC move records. I told you this level was coming to sweep early sellers, people who were selling here. This move came to sweep them out, and now we are finally coming to the downside. Same idea here. That's how the chart moves. It wouldn't give you free money. So if you don't know and you are selling or you are buying early, it will come and sweep you out before it goes in your direction. So this I see as a liquidity came to sweep all these early buyers, came to sweep them out, and now it is building momentum to the upside. And with the war happening in the Middle East, I think it's going to buy, but we don't know when yet. But when this week is going to determine it. So now let's see something. Let's look at something. The whole of last week, this is weekly candle. Yeah, the whole of last week, it has been bearish, okay? So you can see even on the daily time frame. So this is what happened on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and this is what happened on Tuesday, okay? So you see Tuesday, it sold massively and swept all these people out. Now, the whole of last week, it sold. Now, on Friday, there was momentum from NFP News telling us that buyers are here and they are trying to kick in. Now, when you go on a 4-hour time frame, you can clearly see that this is a key level. So here being last week being bearish, when you have a bearish structure, what do you see? Like I keep explaining, a bearish trend is made up of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. When you see lower lows and lower highs, you know we are in a bearish trend. And when you see higher highs and higher lows, you know we are in a bullish trend. So a bullish trend is made up of higher highs and higher lows, and a bearish trend is made up of lower lows and lower highs. Now, the whole of last week, we were in a bearish trend. Why? Because we could see lower lows and lower highs. Even if you go on a 1 hour, if you go on a 4 hour, you could see clearly that gold was selling. Lower low, lower high. Give a massive lower low, give a lower high, lower low equal high, then give a lower low. Okay, so the whole of last week before the NFP news, even here, this was NFP. This was what happened on NFP. So lower low, and here couldn't give a lower, wait, let me take it again. The whole of last week, we were bearish with lower lows and lower highs. A massive lower low, give a lower high. This because there are buyers here, so they try to trick everyone that is going to buy, but they didn't buy. Give an equal high, then give a lower low again. Now, lower high, very good. Then here normally it's supposed to give a lower low. Normally, for the bearish trend to continue, it's supposed to be like this. But what happened? This didn't happen. This rather happened. So you have this. We have this, and NFP took over. Okay, so when NFP came, it's like, no, I don't want to go any further down because there are a lot of buyers here. So the news, the fundamentals brought this bullish momentum. That is what made this daily candle close bullish. So this daily candle engulfing has given us a confirmation that there's a lot of buyers here. Okay, giving us confirmation that there's a lot of buyers here. We know that we are bullish. We are bullish here with respect to what happened on Friday. Now, stay with me. This is a bearish trend, okay? And I said bearish trend is made up of lower lows and lower highs. So here we can clearly see we have lower lows and lower highs here. Now let's draw, how do you call it? Our resistance, because every bearish trend has resistance and a bullish trend has support. So this is a resistance here. This is another resistance here. This is another resistance here. You can clearly see that these resistances are respecting each other. You can see that lower low, lower high. This lower high respects this lower high. This lower high respects this lower high. This lower high respects this lower high. And this is the definition of what? A bearish trend. So you can clearly see also here that this is a resistance. So this is a resistance. Like I said, a resistance, draw it at the closure of the candle. Or if you want, I can use just a line. Instead of using a zone, I can use just a line. Something like this. Good. So the whole of last week, it was selling. Gold has been selling. And I personally, with the geopolitical event happening, I don't want to sell gold. I want to buy. So all the move that happened with the sell, I wasn't interested. So here we have a resistance here on a 4-hour, another clear resistance here. And these resistances are respecting each other. Now there's another small resistance here. Lower high. So all these points are lower highs, which are respecting its previous lower high. So this lower high respected its previous lower high. This one also respected its previous lower high. Same thing. This one respected this. So once it's going like that, you know we are in a bearish trend. Now, there's another lower high that formed here. This lower high also respected this. So anything here, while we were going, was still bearish. But all of a sudden, there was a bullish push to the upside, which was the NFP news. So this is an indication that this bearish trend is over. Because, like I said, I'm going to explain it again. A bullish trend is made up of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now, when do we know the trend is changing and structure is shifting to the opposite direction? We only notice when we see it's not going, it's refusing to go to the upside, breaks the last low, retraces, then gives us this. That is when, so the whole time our focus is going to be what is happening at the last low. This will be our focus. What is happening at the last low, breaks the last low, retraces, and sells off. This is the same thing. In a buy trend, this is a buy trend turning to a sell trend. Now, in a sell trend turning into a buy trend, this is the scenario you should be looking for. In a sell trend, which is lower low, lower high, turning into a buy trend, this is what you should be looking at. You should be looking at price not willing to go further down, breaking the last high. So this is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now, if you notice this price is refusing to go to the downside and breaks this lower high, what we are going to do is you're not going to start buying. You're just going to wait for retracement and buy to the upside. This scenario is the same as this scenario. You don't need to get confused. This scenario is the same as this scenario. It's just at the opposite ends. It's just at the opposite ends. So when this lower high is broken, we'll be waiting for retracement. The retracement could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it depends. We'll be waiting for this retracement to buy to the upside. So this is actually what is happening here. This right here is what is happening here. If I'm to pull this up, let me delete this. If I'm to pull this up, This is actually what is happening here. This is the last low we had, and this low has been broken. So once this low, this lower high has been broken. Once this lower high, this is the last lower high that was created. So this bullish momentum broke this lower high. So what we are going to be looking for is what a retracement around this zone for a buy to the upside. It's as simple as ABC. It's as simple as ABC. What we are going to be looking for is a retracement to the downside for a buy to the upside. As simple as that. Because already on a high time frame, we know there are a lot of buyers here refusing to push price down, and they're pushing price to the upside. So next week, I'll be waiting for retracement. I don't know where it's going to be, but if it shows up, I'm going to pull my trigger. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, I also have a trend line here, but I don't know if it's too early to draw the trend line. I don't know if it's too early to draw the trend line. About time will tell. Yeah, so I have a trend line here. So I'm expecting a retracement around this zone for a push to the upside. It depends on how market is going to open. Probably it won't even come there, but I'm not going to rush anything. I'm just going to trade what I see. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So it's as simple as that. So next week, I'll be looking for buys. This push is an indication for me that buyers are back into the market because everything here was bearish. But this was an indication that buyers are back into the market. So any retracements, I'm going to be looking for buy opportunities. And I think that's it.